What innocent thing did your parents hide from you that came back 20 years later? That I had a twin sister. Growing up as an only child, I always felt this unexplainable emptiness, like something fundamental was missing. I'd have these moments where I'd turn to share a thought with someone who wasn't there. Sometimes I'd wake up crying from dreams I couldn't remember. Mom would find me talking to myself in the mirror, having full conversations as if someone was responding. When I mentioned these feelings to my parents, they'd exchange those worried glances. Then Dad would quickly suggest ice cream or a movie, anything to change the subject. Our house had strange little quirks I never questioned. In my bedroom, everything came in pairs: 2 identical butterfly paintings, 2 matching shelves with symmetrical arrangements of toys, 2 nightstands with identical lamps. When I asked Mom about this design choice, she'd smile sadly and say, "Balance is important in design, sweetheart. Some things just belong together." My birthday always felt oddly ceremonial. Mom would bake exactly 2 of everything, 2 identical cakes, even though we never needed that much. Dad would take 2 identical photos of me blowing out candles. When I asked why we needed so many duplicate photos, he'd mutter something about backup copies and walk away. My 8th birthday was the strangest. After I blew out my candles, Dad suddenly started crying. He never cried, not even when his mother died. Mom rushed him from the room, and through the door, I heard her whispering, "I know it's hard, but it's Elizabeth's day too." When I asked who Elizabeth was, they both froze. Mom recovered first. "Nobody, sweetie. Just an old friend we lost touch with." But their faces told a different story. As I grew older, I noticed Mom always bought clothes in pairs, then returned one of each. She'd spend hours in baby stores just touching tiny dresses, then leave without buying anything. Dad would sometimes call out 2 names when summoning me for dinner, then quickly correct himself. At 30, I needed my childhood medical records for a procedure. The hospital clerk pulled up my file, confused. "I have you listed as baby girl Williams B." I asked about the B designation, and she glanced at her screen. "That's to distinguish you from baby girl Williams A twins, right?" My world shattered in that fluorescent lit hospital office. That night, I drove to my parents' house unannounced, medical records in hand. They knew the moment they saw my face. Mom collapsed into a chair while Dad went deathly pale. "Her name was Elizabeth," Mom finally whispered. "She was 7 minutes older than you." The truth spilled out like a dam breaking. My twin sister had died from SIDS when we were 3 months old. They found her unresponsive one morning while I slept peacefully beside her. The pediatric psychologist warned them about twin bereavement syndrome, that even infants can develop severe attachment trauma from losing their twin. He advised them to remove all traces of Elizabeth's existence until I was old enough to process the loss. "But we couldn't bear to completely erase her," Dad said, voice breaking. "So we kept her alive in ways you wouldn't notice. The pairs of everything, the 2 birthday cakes, the way Mom would sometimes brush my hair and then continue brushing the empty air beside me. In my parents' attic, they showed me a perfectly preserved nursery, 2 cribs, 2 of every stuffed animal, 2 baby books, mine filled with milestones. Elizabeth's empty after 3 months. Inside a cedar chest, I found a box with her things, identical to mine in every way. Same baby bracelets, same first outfits, same tiny handprints in clay. And beneath it all, a letter from Mom. "My dearest daughters, if you're reading this together, it means our greatest fear never came true. If only one of you is reading this, know that we couldn't save Elizabeth, but we would die before letting her death break you too. Some twins share everything, even grief. We carried yours so you wouldn't have to." For 30 years, they'd celebrated her birthday alongside mine, bought Christmas presents I never saw, and kept her memory alive while hiding her existence, all to protect me from a loss they thought I was too fragile to bear. They hadn't just hidden a sister from me, they'd hidden an entire universe of grief and love that had shaped every day of my life without my knowledge. "We thought we were protecting you," Mom said, clutching my hand, "but maybe we were really protecting ourselves from having to say goodbye to her twice."